just the middle piece, but fortunately a little bit too much for this, but got another one at home that I'll go and grab, and we'll try again. Alright, well, I've got a new rod now. I'm hoping this one's going to stand up a little bit better. The last one is made of softwood, this one's made of hardwood, so it flexes less, so I'm hoping that it's going to be able to withstand a little bit more force from the wind. Although the wind has dropped a little bit now, but I'm sure it'll be back up again pretty soon, so I'm going to put this on the kite and test her out. just wanted to show the aftermath of my kite after the first 2 days of flying it. And the kite itself has held up really well. The wind conditions haven't exactly been ideal. So the kite will fly pretty well when the wind's steady, but as soon as it drops a little bit, the kite sort of drifts off to the side, and then it'll end up turning a little bit further, and then it'll start to nosedive and it'll slam its nose down into the ground. But the kite itself has held up really well, even through not ideal conditions. The wind condition today, wind has been really strong. So, I mean, nothing's ripped or anything, or well, there is a rip, but I'll show that in a sec. But anyways, the kite itself has been held up really well, just for the wind, and it has been flying really well for the type of wind condition I've been seeing. But yeah, as I said, there's a rip in it, and the reason it happened, well, I guess you probably saw when I was first launching it at the beginning of today, day 2, the wind is a lot stronger today. So as soon as I held it up, and before I even let it go really, the centerpiece that goes from this side over here all the way across, it bent and bent and bent, and then it cracked. And I didn't have any problems with that yesterday, but the wind condition yesterday was not as strong as it was today. So right after that happened, I ran back to the house, and I grabbed another rod that I had, which is this one here, which is actually a little bit thinner diameter. This stuff is what the entire kite was made out of. Right here you can see all the other pieces are made from this material, but this material is a softwood. It's like pine or something. That's what I bought from Rona. I bought all the parts, all the wooden parts for this kite from Rona, but I also bought some from Home Hardware, which is actually hardwood. So this is a 1/16 of an inch thinner than the other one, but it's hardwood, and the hardwood flexes a lot less than the softwood. So I figured I'd be able to try this, and it would probably last a little bit longer than this one. So that's what I did. I went home and I got one of these rods here, and I cut it to the right length, and I put it in, and it held up a lot better. Again, it didn't just break as soon as I lifted it up. But after like the first 5 minutes, I could already see that middle rod was already bowing again, like it was going into a big arc. It wasn't staying straight the way it was supposed to be. So I actually figured out that I could actually stick this rod here underneath of this rod, and then it would prevent it from bending, and it would distribute the forces that was being exerted on this rod through this long center rod, and it would keep the kite in the end. It would be more flat and less curved. So that was good. I tried that for a little bit, and I had some problems with the tape here that's holding this thing down, ripping off. But then I just went and I put new tape all the way along, and I put tape, covering every inch of that rod to this kite. And since I've done that, it's been working really well. So after I replaced the rod, it flew really well for quite a while. As I was saying, the wind conditions weren't great, but the kite itself held up really well. It wasn't staying in the air forever, but it was definitely flying the way a kite's supposed to fly. Right when I was getting ready to go, I actually had this rod did finally give up and bend, and it might have been the initial bending that happened when I didn't have it tucked behind here that caused it to fracture. But anyways, it did, and when it did, it actually made a little rip. The sharp edge here, it ripped through here, and it damaged the kite. Although it's really easy to fix. I'm just gonna grab some clear packing tape and tape that over, and then you'll never know that there was really a rip there or anything. It'll fix it just fine. I'm not worried about that. But anyways, I have to replace the center rod now. So what I've done is, since the hardwood seems to perform a lot better, I figured I would find from Home Hardware. I went and bought another center rod here, which is from Home Hardware, and it's hardwood, and it's the thicker size. So it's the same thickness as the softwood that I started with, except it's hardwood, so it doesn't flex as much. It's a lot stronger, and I'm hoping that installing this on the kite will make the kite able to withstand the high winds that I was seeing today. Because it did. I mean, even with the softwood, the whole kite held up really well yesterday when the wind wasn't quite as strong. And I want this kite to be built for even really strong winds. So if I put this rod here, it still fits the little end piece that I made for it just fine, because it's the right size for it. And Oh yeah, something else I forgot to mention earlier. In between day 1 and day 2, I wrote my initials on the kite on both sides. They're upside down because we're viewing the kite from above right now. But from the ground you can see those big initials, and that's pretty cool, the big CJH. But anyways, I'm going to cut this rod here to length, and I'm going to tape up that hole, and then this kite will be practically good as new, ready to fly again. And so thanks for tuning in and watching my experience of testing out the very first kite I've ever built. Very first huge kite too, a very big kite, the biggest kite I've ever flown. So anyways, thanks for watching.